my name's Alison Fenton. I'm one of the design and colour consultants on Streamlining Materials and Colour Selections with COLORBOND steel. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, operate and speak today. We pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging, and celebrate this ongoing culture and connection to the lands and waters of this nation. One of the most exciting forms of self-expression is choosing a colour scheme that creates the look, feel and mood of your home. The roof is one of the largest, most visible elements of your home, and COLORBOND steel gives homeowners the perfect start to create their vision. COLORBOND steel is inspired by Australia. It's made in Australia and for Australia. Our products showcase a broad range of Australian nature-inspired colours, providing design versatility across roofing, gutter fascia, walling, garage doors, water tanks and fencing. Since we began manufacture in 1966, our colour palettes have become well known and helping streamline projects and adding value and street appeal across communities. Curved, pitched or almost flat, a roof made from COLORBOND steel can go down to a 1 degree pitch depending on the profile. So perfect for today's sleek and modern designs. And it isn't just the colours of Australia that have inspired us. We do test our products in the toughest of conditions, from rough coastal surf to intense desert heat. We scratch, we mark, bend, saturate and sear. Only the most resilient and durable products are launched, and with warranties to reflect this hard-wearing standard. Innovation is also a key focus for COLORBOND steel products. We're continually improving on what we've created and developing new solutions for Australia's diverse and often extreme climates, like Thermatech, which improves heat reflection from 21 of our 22 colours on hot sunny days. August this year saw a big moment for COLORBOND steel. We revealed our latest upgrades to the COLORBOND steel range. Our newest on-trend colour additions were carefully researched with key stakeholders in the Australian building industry, helping us to curate fresh palettes while ensuring alignment with the current residential design needs. Rest assured, our most popular colours are still relevant and in great demand. They have been kept and form the familiar backbone to our new chic palette, offering consistency and confidence in our new look and feel. We've also kept the core range to 22 colours, but evolved our selection of neutrals and greys to meet the market. And now to introduce you to our new colours. The new colours show an emphasis on neutrality. The subtle calming qualities of these often muted tones are celebrated in the design field as they direct attention to interplay of light and shadow, to surface finish, scale and also to form. This quiet character is a clear trend on the rise and will highlight the complexity and inherent sophistication of any type of home. With a continuing base, natural, earthy notes combined with our popular, more sharply saturated hues, the fresh COLORBOND steel palette holds great depth of possibility and expression. So you can see here we've introduced Dover White, Southerly and Blue Gum. Dover White, Southerly and Blue Gum sit in the mid to pale end of our palette and offer greater diversity in range of application, offering certainly more natural palettes and neutral palettes and certainly catering for energy efficiency at the cool roofs end of the design trends at the moment. Dover White is reflective of white sands, salt pans or striking ghost gums along the Larapinta Trail. The name Dover White might reflect English heritage. However, the colour is deeply fixed within many of Australia's most scenic destinations. A clean, crisp white that building and interior design professionals have long anticipated.
Live land release is taking place right now on the main
Thank you. Doval White convincingly broadens the possibilities of our palette and is already a highly celebrated addition across the industry. Southerly. The sun-kissed hills of Australian summer, windswept shores and coastal mounds as the southerly rolls in to cool and calm the heat of the day. A stunning natural offering both softness and strength. Identified as a highly desirable colour within the building profession, southerly pairs effortlessly with distressed concrete and also ground flooring, opening up potential flows of colour from outside to in. Blue gum, reminiscent of fresh, cool mornings and a distant low haze as the sun begins to break over the hills. True to its name, blue gum is a cool shade of blue-grey that perfectly combines with our deeper notes like deep ocean and ironstone. A beautiful and calming colour for coastal and rural palettes, though equally fitting for chic urban projects. And blue gum matte, which is quite stunning, I must say. The surface texture of our matte range creates deeper definition of colour. So for those deeper colours, a much sharper contrast. The softness of matte balances current trends that look to natural materials and surface textures to ground and soothe. Blue gum matte offers an elevated and stylish solution for architectural, Hamptons and also Australian homestead designs. Wollamai, which is a very impressive, beautiful, rich green colour, inspired by deep, untouched forest valleys where the lush green undergrowth thrives. Wollamai is our new fencing colour, and similarly, blue gum is also used in the fencing range now, so another addition, which is a really nice addition to see. Able to sink into the background or strike a contrast with bold hues, Wollamai is versatile and suits both traditional and contemporary home designs. The new COLORBOND colour palette creates access to popular colour schemes for home designs, allowing you to fuse exterior with interior to create the perfect designer look. The reason we revitalise our colour palettes every few years is to ensure our colours align with current design trends, promoting confidence in how to apply our colours. Expressing your personality through design choices can be one of the most satisfying experiences, and especially when you see the concept come to fruition. Though equally, if you're not familiar with popular trends or how to use colour and texture, making design decisions can actually be quite daunting. So I'd like to show you through some of the current trends we're seeing play out in residential design at the moment, and then take you on a journey on how these colours can be applied using COLORBOND steel products. So you're probably familiar with white on white or pale, subtle tonal shifts. So the pale trend is uncomplicated. It's soothing, it's calm, open, spacious, often light-filled, very breezy. In fact, you could say that it's heavenly, really. Pale naturals and neutrals are being celebrated and enjoyed across Australia, and there's a few reasons for this, likely influenced by the restrictions and self-focus created through our experience with the COVID pandemic, however realised as such an important part of our new normal. So we are seeing it in fashion, to homewares, to health, interior and exterior treatments. The popularity of this sophisticated style is endless, and one other strong influence in the pale segment is actually energy efficiency. So certainly looking to cool roofs, to cool communities, and also cool the interior of your home. And there's a huge influx of greens at the moment. You might have noticed this predominantly in interiors, but we're certainly seeing colour and definitely green creep out to the exterior as well. I guess with roofing, it's often a more subtle green, like an undertone with woodland grey, perhaps even wind spray. The influence of biophilia, a celebration of nature, or bringing the outdoors in, Whatever way you define your influence, there's no denying the use of greens in home design is a macro trend that has been unfolding and evolving for some time. Concerns around environmental change, particularly for the younger generations, was a catalyst for this movement and sees natural connection being celebrated through emphasising views of nature, accessible green courtyards, indoor plants, green undertones and shades, natural materials and surface finishes. So undoubtedly a trend still to watch. And mid-tones. I think mid-tones are quite a reliable range of colours to lean into. We certainly have a wealth of mid-tones in the COLORBOND steel palette, and now with the addition of blue gum, we have a little bit more colour moving into more of those coastal hues that you might use for that sort of application. Generally warm, cosy, inviting and often rustic. Earthy mid-tones that inspire relaxed and comfortable spaces for entertaining and beckon social gatherings with wine and cheese. Perfect for coastal getaways or country escapes, yet equally suited to our urban fabric and lifestyle. Bold, sharp, architectural, easily industrial or mid-century. Deep colours that show strength in design prowess or classic monochromatic combinations with striking accents. And of course here in Melbourne we are quite a fan of the deeper tones, particularly Monument and, as you can see in this photo here, Night Sky on the left-hand side. Often a popular choice for architects and designers. So streamlining materials and colours throughout your property is definitely made easy with COLORBOND steel. By tuning into your preferred trends and styles, you can refine your design palette to present a clear vision. Though simplicity is always key. Trying to make it work or force it, unfortunately, generally doesn't play out the way you would like. So at every turn in the design process, it's definitely important to have that concept of less is more. More layers can be added as you move into the interior space through furnishings and also styling. However, when you're looking at the exterior of the home, that's generally fixed. And that's why we do talk to COLORBOND steel for roofing in a particular way, because it is the starting point of your home. It's one of the most visible elements. So I just wanted to start this journey by talking about location. Location is really important when it comes to colour and material selection. So as a designer, generally we take cues from the landscape or your surroundings. So it's really important to have a look at the nature of the landscape that your site is positioned in. So as you can see with this slide here, we've got quite a variety of locations and climates. So desert location in WA, a bushland location somewhere in New South Wales, I dare say. And the top image there is up in Queensland, thus the white on white. And of course, urban design, which you can see on that right-hand slide there. So we're taking cues from the fabric of our local community. We're looking at what materials are being regularly used. We're looking at the colours that exist in that landscape as well, and drawing inspiration from those ideas. Another important point is consideration of estate guidelines or council guidelines. So obviously these play a part in what you can or can't design. So I guess the important components for council and developers, they're always trying to create or curate a design language to ensure each home is fitting for its location, attractive and of quality construction. They're trying to define the overall colour and material palette to ensure appeal through alignment with climate, location and current design trends. So they're essentially creating a product that's going to draw people into the community and make them want to settle there, make them love the community and the aesthetic and find a sense of belonging. So councils and developers are also trying to ensure community design is future focused, employing sustainable utilities, built form landscape design, and also addressing and mitigating the effects of climate change. And that's where cool roofs come in, and I guess the changes, upcoming changes with the NCC as well. So we'll definitely see some change happen with housing design and I dare say estate design as a result of that in the shorter term. So councils and developers are also catering for functionality, access and amenity with suitable urban design. So that might look like inclusion of parks, playgrounds, exercise zones, social spaces, waterways, trees and vegetation. So being in an environment that gives you a connection to nature but also gives you that social and I guess physical amenity and connection to your neighbours, even though some people may not be interested in that, but that's definitely what they're trying to achieve. So treatment of the whole house. So when it comes to your actual home and designing your home, with those initial considerations in mind, the next step would be to look at how you're expressing design from the outside of the home through to the inside of the home, and that includes the landscape as well. So you're using colour from landscape to exterior to interior, and you would ideally want to create a flow of colour and texture and material through those spaces, and that means you're creating synchronicity throughout the whole property, and that really is going to give it a designer look and feel. So roofing, so many options with roofing, but it is one of the largest surface areas of the home. It's one of the most visible pieces of your home, that and walling. So we often talk about street appeal when it comes to the exterior of your home. So how is that house going to look as you approach it on the street? How is it going to impress upon your neighbours or your friends that turn up? Do you want to give them wow factor? And do you want to have that wow factor every time you come home? So it is an important consideration to start with those larger pieces. Obviously homes can be designed in different ways. Some homes might have a skillion roof that you don't really see from the street, so I guess walling might become the more important component to start with there. But if you have a pitched roof or a skillion that's facing the road, there are a lot of homes being designed at the moment where the pitches are actually a lot sharper than they have been in the past. The roofs are becoming a much more dominant player in the market. So starting with a colour and potentially a texture that then inspires the colour journey throughout your property is really important. And the other thing to consider is colour choice as it applies to your local climate. So considerations there, whether you're using a pale roof to reflect more heat or a darker roof to absorb more heat if you're in a cooler location. But also thinking about the future. So you can change walling colours, you can change front door colours or trims, posts. But with a roof, you're not likely to change it. So have a think about what colour would make you happy for the longest period of time. Walling is also available in COLORBOND steel, and I'm sure you've seen standing seam. There are actually a few other profile choices that look like standing seam as well, like interlocking, clip block. There's even clip blocking systems as well. So a popular choice for architectural designs, we've often used this style on the block, and you can get random sort of rhythms through the profiles as well, depending on what you're looking for. But as you can see, this can create quite a textural look and feel, and you can get different scales within these walling profiles. So you've got those ribs and then that flat pan in the middle. You can get different widths to that pan, creating different scales and textures, and that's something to consider looking at, I guess, the size of your property, how it's seen from the street, what sort of scale in pan width is appropriate for your design. And of course, materials and textures for walling outside of COLORBOND steel, but also treatments in the landscape. There's a real trend towards biophilia and natural materials at the moment, and of course the pale on pale or white on white. it's very popular to use texture and focus on texture in your design. So colour can be played out in the background in subtle ways, whereas the focus is really on texture. So introducing natural elements like timber finishes and also stone, perhaps even recycled elements like brick or distressed concrete. All of those products have a story and they have a warmth because of that story. So there's definitely a very strong trend to include those materials and create interest in the home and repeat those through the home as well to draw that story through. So of course there's also more of your functional accessories like gutter fascia and downpipe, but then even moving to garage doors and windows or louvers. So there's lots of different exterior treatments that you must have, and you can choose different colours for. You can create, for example, in that pale roof, you could use a black gutter fascia there or just gutter to articulate the line of the roof. And that was very popular in the past. I think these days people are generally going with the same colour from the roof to their fascia gutter, unless they're creating a subtle transition through the gutter and fascia to their walling. But keeping it simple is definitely a current trend. So less is more. And then just a couple more slides here very quickly though. There's also the landscape accessories. So similarly, these are often functional, but you can use COLORBOND steel colours, the COLORBOND palette, and also products like the fencing in the top slide there, or the tanks, the planters. But you can use COLORBOND colours to streamline from the outside and then to the exterior and into your home. So it does make it really stress-free when selecting your colours. And lastly, we want to draw those colours and that story into the home. So if you're using, for example, matte finishes for the roof of your home, you're using natural textures like timber or stone, you might then choose to use natural materials for your couch and have timber furnishings. You might have some natural accessories, whether it be dried flowers or whether it be ornate timber carving, something that relates back to that natural world. So you're creating that flow through from the outside to the in. And you can see the simplicity of the design with this home is also carried through. The interior design isn't fussy, it's quite clean and it's quite simple. It's quite restrained really, but beautiful at the same time. So that is all I have to share with you today. I think I might have gone a minute or two over there, sorry about that. But I hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day at the House and Land Expo. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to come up and see me after the presentation. Thank you.